Good morning, listeners. You are listening to Whole Healing with Becky Joe. I am Becky Joe. I am honored, humbled, privileged, thankful, and also happy to be with you in the studio today. Today is October 15th, and if you can believe that, we are halfway through the month of October already. Hard to believe. It's really... This whole year has gone incredibly fast. It seems like I don't know where half of the year went, and I'm sure you probably feel the same way. So in our opening prayer this morning, I wanted to, because we're going to be talking about some different cultures today and opening and expanding our minds to different ways of life that maybe some of you have never heard of before. I wanted to do our opening prayer as a Buddhist prayer, because Buddhism is not a religion, contrary to popular belief. Buddhism is a well-being way of life, and it actually it complements whatever your spiritual beliefs are. So I urge everybody to check out the beautiful, things that you can accomplish with Buddhism. It's really just adding layers to your soul. It's really just expanding your horizons. And that's why we're here. We came here to learn and expand our horizons. So with that said, the opening prayer this morning is invoking metta. Metta is the Buddhist lingo for compassion. So as we gather here today in friendship and community, we take a moment out of our busy lives, and every one of us watching or listening on the radio today is taking a moment out of your busy lives to learn, to share, to reflect on insights and experiences and wisdom. So in these moments, you guys, we're really reminded how blessed we are right here as we all come together and join in this radio broadcast. We are so blessed to be here. I'm blessed to be here. I'm blessed to have this space to share my light with you. But we're all blessed to come together. And in the current world around us, there are so many who suffer and face challenges. Each one of us has been there. But we stand in solidarity with ourselves and with others, in compassion, when we practice loving kindness, to ourselves and to all of those around us. And that's what Buddhism kind of teaches, is loving kindness, okay? So as you think about the power of compassion for the whole of humanity, I want you to engage in the power of the prayer that connects us, okay? This prayer that's going to connect us. Now, irrespective of any religion that you follow or believe, absolutely no disrespect, okay? So with your own beliefs and your own ideals, I want you to understand that this is more deeply helping us to hold how we truly feel and what we truly believe in our minds as we go about our daily business. As we go through our lives, let what you learn help you develop a stronger sense of convictions of what you do believe. I don't want you to think that I'm trying to change your belief systems or that I'm trying to get you to follow me and believe something else. I'm just giving you the information, and I want you to take with you what feels right. And if I say something now or ever on one of these shows that doesn't resonate with you and doesn't feel true, that's okay. Let it go. Let it be, okay? So let us all say this following prayer in the name of all that is good, okay? And here we go. Let's bow our heads. May we all be happy. May we all be well. May we all be peaceful. May no harm come to us. May we all have patience and courage, understanding, and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties, problems, and failures in life. May our parents, our teachers, our mentors, and our friends. And may all living beings across the world, across all time and space, be well, be happy, be peaceful. May no harm come to them. May all have patience, courage, understanding, and determination to meet and overcome all of their inevitable difficulties, problems, and failures in life. May we all come together in unity and understanding and compassion for the greater good of the whole. Amen. So, now that we have turned on our flashlights, let's talk about the energy forecast. So, as we all know, we just came off a very powerful full moon, and it was the harvest moon of the year. So we're harvesting, the plants that we have been sowing all summer from the seeds that we planted, right, and sprouted in the spring. So we're doing this in our lives too. As though we're doing this externally, we're also doing this internally through the seasons, okay? So October is a month of harvest for all of us. And October brings a few challenges and heavy alignments astrologically. However, there's also, with challenges, also comes a great deal of release and satisfaction within. If you can view these challenges and these nudges in your life from the universe as blessings, as a turning of a page or turning of a new corner. October kind of helps all of us that are ready to level up. We're all being, and my guidance system has been telling me for 2 weeks, it's time to step into the next level. It's time to level up. It's time to move higher into the next level of your being. And I think we're all being asked to do this. It's just a matter of everybody sees it and views it a little bit differently, okay? So we are much stronger than we realize, you guys, as human beings. We have so much wisdom within us, and the universe knows this. Whatever the universe is to you, your internal guidance system knows this, which is why it is amping up in the energies in October, in this harvest, okay, in order to keep us moving in this great awakening that's happening on the planet, to keep us moving into higher levels of consciousness, keeping humanity rising, okay? We are ready, you guys. We are absolutely ready. And I'll tell you, if you're on the planet right now, your soul chose to be on this planet Earth in this pivotal time in order to do this work. And I say this all the time, and it is true for every single one of us, whether you recognize it yet or not. So during October, we're really, really, really being encouraged to level up and advance our soul growth. And pretty soon, at the end of October, we're going to have our final Mercury retrograde of this year. But don't take that in a fearful way. This particular Mercury retrograde that's coming up at the end of the month is going to give us all some breathing room this time to help digest, and process and work through any final lessons that we're finishing up for the year. So I want you to see Mercury retrograde as a time of retrospect, as a time of going inward and finishing up that inner work that you need to do, that you've been avoiding, okay? Don't see it as a negative thing, okay? As, oh, no, it's Mercury retrograde, so now, oh, everything's going to go wrong. No, everything can go really right if you choose to use it for what it's meant for. So all through this Libra season we've been in, one of the main themes that we've been working on energetically is our relationships. Have we not? The last couple months, every one of us is being shown which relationships in our lives are no longer working, which ones we're supposed to lovingly leave behind us, right? These include our relationships, with others. Not only with others, but with our own self too, with our own body, with our own mind, and with our own souls, okay? Your relationships with money and abundance and the world around you, okay? So this full moon that we had 2 days ago brought up all these lessons each one of us is working on, and those lessons of relationships peaked, okay? And that's what a lot of us are feeling. A lot of you are feeling wherever there's disharmony and discord within you with relationships, be it with whatever, your relationship to whatever it is, that's all surfacing and peaking right now, because it's time for you to pick which ones you want to work through and release, and then the next ones come, so it may feel kind of heavy. A lot of people are feeling really heavy the last couple weeks, and at this time, between now and the next couple weeks, we're going to be encouraged to think about what the next steps that need to be taken on our journeys are. And when we do that, we have to go inward and clear out the old so that we can develop new strategies, that need to be put in place, especially when it comes to relationships, and especially when it comes to creating healthy boundaries and creating healthy relationships with everything, okay? So if you have been too harsh in your relationships, you may find a strong calling to soften a little bit and to forgive, okay? If you've been too soft and have struggled to stand up for yourselves, you may be feeling a very strong calling to take a stand and set those healthy boundaries, okay? So this full moon that we had a couple days ago also is really encouraging all of us to look where we are giving way too much or not enough in relationships, okay? We're being shown this. We need to go deeper and take a look at ourselves, okay? And if you feel like you've been treated unfairly, or if you are treating others unfairly in relationships, this full moon will shine lots and lots of light on that to encourage us to find a new way. So many of you probably are already in the midst of this and going, yep, absolutely, this is what's been going on. So I want you to think of this full moon we just had as illuminating a new path for all of us when it comes to relationships. I want you to work on that the next couple of weeks, just really thinking that and feeling that in your being. Because, it illuminates a pathway that allows every single one of us to take care of our own needs, but also at the same time being open and compassionate and understanding towards others, okay? So with this balance in place, and some of us putting this balance in place for the very first time, okay, your connections can be a lot more healthy and a lot more rewarding with everything, internally and externally in your world. But the other piece of this is that the energy of this full moon we just had is feeling somewhat heavy still. Even though it was a couple days ago, some people are still feeling this heaviness. And it will probably linger for a couple more days, okay? But I want you to stay positive, because eventually, when this full moon energy kind of starts to wane and let up, you're going to really find relief if you go deep inside and connect with yourself. You'll be able to breathe and enjoy the rewards of this hard work that you're doing. We all deserve to enjoy the rewards of the hard work we do, okay? So in the next week, I want you to really focus on your relationships. The energy of and alignments astrologically really are asking us to take a look and finish up the rest of what we're going to do for 2019, because 2020, it's really weird for me to say that, 2020 is going to be an incredibly transformational year, and we'll talk about that later when we get into December. Let's focus on October first, and let's focus on what we're harvesting for the rest of the year, okay? So speaking of moving forward in the directions, as a shaman healer, as a shaman myself, I absolutely love with all of my soul to talk about shamanic practices, okay? And the beautiful soul journey that a human can choose to take. So, just like many other cultures, religions, and soul spiritual paths, this one is one of thousands. And all of them are valid, and all of them are correct, and all of them are very important to help humanity evolve. Depending on what level you are at on your soul's journey. Okay? So with that said, without getting too much into that, just because you are deeply involved with one religion, like I said with the prayer, it does not mean you cannot explore and open your mind to others. If for no other reason, just to learn and explore, okay? Just to expand your horizons, just to learn. We came here to learn. We're humans. Like, that's what we came here to do, is learn. This is schoolroom earth, okay? I want you to know that no matter what religion you follow, no matter what your spiritual path is, it's absolutely okay and appropriate for you to open yourself up to more, okay? The more you open yourself up to, the more you will see how similar all paths truly are, especially the ones that lead to the light. And let me tell you that all paths eventually do lead to the light, okay? So as a practitioner of shamanism, I vowed to the universe to look for signs in nature that reveal not only my own power and strength, but the path I shall walk on for the rest of my days. And how can I walk on this path, and how can I best serve? So when shamanism was brought to me through my own spirit, which I've been practicing this my entire life, even as a little girl, not even knowing really what I was doing until I actually started studying it. And then I realized I've already been doing all of this my entire life. So the spirits want me to share some information about the 4 directions today, and I'm honored to speak of this. This is a very deep soul calling for me. Shamanic practitioners of all cultures, okay, follow a spiritual path that leads their soul through the nature of the divine, whatever that means to them, okay? So as a shaman, we all know that wherever we go, we are always inevitably in the center, surrounded by divine power, whatever that means to you, okay? But paradoxically, we're not meant to stay in our center. So just like people talking about yoga, find your center, and then humans have this idea that you find your center and then you stay there and then that's it. And you stay there and you stay in the light. That's not what we're meant to do, guys. We're meant to explore the highs and the lows and the ups and downs. That's why we're here on earth. If we were meant to stay in our center and stay in the light, we wouldn't be in a physical body. We'd be out in the universe shining as energy and light, right? We'd just be a soul. We came here because we wanted to explore all of who and what we are, okay? We're not meant to stay in the center, although that's what feels best, right? So when we hear the calling to explore shamanism or to explore your spiritual path, whatever that is, from the center of your own horizons, okay, you then venture forth on this transformational journey of the soul and spirit. And in shamanism, we venture forth on this beautiful, magical journey through the medicine wheel, okay? Searching for personal growth in each of the 4 directions, okay? So this is true. I mean, outside of shamanism, this is very true for every single human being. Each person's life journey passes through these, cyclical points and seasons, right? We do it daily, we do it weekly, we do it monthly, we do it yearly, we do it in decades. These are these life cycles that we go through over and over and over, right? So in some cultures, the seasons of the year are viewed as life's cycles, okay? And viewed as like the divine creator and the spirits influencing the seasons for growth and transformation for all. So in these cultures, in these shaman cultures, the turning of the seasons becomes like this sacred, beautiful heavenly event in which human beings can and should participate, okay? Because everything that's in nature, the belief is, and I truly believe this with all of my spirit, what's happening in nature, like the turning of the seasons in nature, is also happening within us. We are part of nature. We are a piece of the whole, okay? So we should participate as humans with the turnings of the seasons. We should go real deep and within the rhythms and the patterns of nature. If you open your mind, body, and soul and your eyes to it, you will find that the rhythms and patterns of our own lives follow suit if you choose to see it. Okay? So the 4 directions, okay, and the 4 seasons would then form like this holistic web, right? In which divinity manifests and cuts across each individual's lives at many points over and over and over, right? So in times past, way back in the ancient days, it was believed that the human soul shared characteristics with all things divine, right? But it is the belief, it is that belief in which the indigenous people way back when assigned these virtues, whether it was the Native American cultures or, the cultures in Europe. These 4 directions were assigned, whether it's the medicine wheel directions or the 4 cardinal directions. In all these ancient cultures, it was all the same thing but different, okay? So they named it, the directions: east, south, west, and north. So it is in these traditions that a blessing is offered in support of these beautiful sacred directions, okay? So starting with the east, let's start in the east, because many cultures believe that everything starts in the east. Now, the east is associated with the color yellow. It's associated with the element of air, and the direction from which the sun rises, okay? The sun rises in the east, right? So it's the direction of the rising sun. The light dawns in the morning, right? So let's go to our human lives for a second. In the morning, when we wake up, the sun rises and dawns in the morning, and it spreads over the earth. And this is the beginning of a new day, right? So the sun for us literally comes up and represents a brand new day, right? But it is also the beginning of a deeper understanding for many cultures, that because the light helps us see things and see our way and see who we really are, right? We begin to understand that on a deeper level. Then east would stand for the wisdom, helping people live good lives, starting over fresh, new beginnings. And traditional people rise in the morning and they pray and are thankful for this new day, right? Facing the dawn, asking God for wisdom and understanding, right? So in this, the human heart is renewed and full of hope and a chance to live a better day than all of the days before, right? So when we can really tune into the direction of east, okay? East absolutely signifies new beginnings, okay? It signifies the morning refreshed and renewed, okay? Also, in shamanism, the eagle represents east, because the eagle flies wingtip to wingtip, high above limitation. And the eagle teaches human beings to do the same, right? Spread your wings and fly. It's a new day. Fly into the light, okay? So that represents morning and spring and just new renewal, okay? Brand new. So it said in some cultures that, east represents babies when they're born, fresh, brand new. That's the beginning of the journey, right? So many believe that this union and the gifts of the East represent communication of the heart, the mind, and the body. Communication with God or the divine or creator or whatever word you use to label your source. And it represents fresh beginnings with the rising of the sun every morning. The knowledge of the growth found in sharing silences, It is also believed that humanity, in some cultures, humanity started in the East, right? Humans started in the East. So that represents the color yellow. So, I don't like to separate races, but the skin color yellow and being in the East was the very beginning of humanity's journey of evolution. And then we move to the South, okay? So then the South represents fire. It represents transformation. Because the southern sky is when the sun is at its highest, right? This direction of south stands for warmth and growing, okay? The sun's rays are very powerful by the time it gets to the south in the middle of the day, right? Drawing life from the earth. So by the time, the sun is in the south, it's beautiful and bright, right? Very powerful. And it's said that the life of all things come from the south. Also, warm and pleasant winds come from the south. When people pass into the spirit world, they travel the Milky Way's path back to the south, returning from where they came from. So the south is also represented by the color white. So it is said we went from yellow to white, okay, in our evolution as humans, okay. So south would also represent then the next leg of your journey. Okay, so we're brand new, we're babies. Then south is when we are in our adolescence and we're really just, feeling great about ourselves. We haven't had too many failures yet in life, and we're just feeling like we're all of who and what we are. We're on fire, right? So then we go to west. And west, when the sun gets to the west every day, the sun starts to set, right? And the day ends. And for this reason, west then signifies the end of life, right? And there's a I think it's a Lakota elder called Black Elk. And he says, toward the setting sun of his life, the great thunderbird lives in the west and sends thunder and rain from this direction. So west is also the direction associated with water, with flow, okay? And for this reason then, it represents the rain and the lakes, the streams and the rivers, okay? Literally letting us know and reminding us as human beings that absolutely nothing on this planet can live without water. So the west is a very vital direction for us. When we connect with the West in our journeys, whether it's daily, whether it's monthly, whether it's yearly, whether it's as a whole in our life's journeys, water brings us like that swift excitement of flow too. The water in the lakes and the streams and the rivers, they just continue to flow. They don't think about it. They don't question whether they should do it. They just continue to flow. And it reminds us humans that this is what we need to do. We need to keep flowing, keep moving. Even if there's a stick in the way blocking our current, we can keep flowing around it if we choose to. But just like these deep commitments that the lakes and the streams and the rivers make to keep flowing, right? We are reminded that we are cleansed by the rain, right? We are all encompassed by the passion of the sea, the spirits in the sea and in the water. And this direction also is represented by Archangel Gabriel, who sends clear messages and clear channel flow. So then we go to the north, okay? And north represents red and earth. So human evolution going then to the red. And north brings the cold, harsh winds of the winter season. So we are in the winter season. Although these winds are cold and harsh, they are very cleansing for our souls. They cause the leaves to fall and the earth to rest under a blanket of snow. Okay? And if someone has the ability to actually face these winds as they come, as these seasons come, like the buffalo with its head into the storm, instead of going away from it, we're going to face it. We're going to let that wind blow at us. When we do this, we learn patience and we learn endurance and we learn to trust. So generally this direction of north represents hardships and discomforts in our lives and seasons where we are learning our hardest lessons, right? So north represents the trials that people must endure and the cleansing that they must undergo before we can move back into the east to start over again, right? So when you connect with and create union with the gifts of the north, okay, when you create a firm foundation on which to build and grow and strength and endurance, the fertility of these winds and these fields will enrich your life. It will create a stable home to which you may always return. But I don't mean that like a physical home. I mean a home within yourself. Okay? So those are the 4 directions of the medicine wheel. That's just a very basic, very general explanation. But let's talk about the medicine wheel. So let's go a little deeper. So the physical manifestation of the medicine wheel, okay, it's a stone circle with 4 gates. And there's many, many different types, different ways to do this, okay? So I'm just going to talk about a general one. So the 4 gates of the medicine wheel, you have, like I just said, east represents air, south represents fire, west represents water, north represents earth. Those are the elements that are represented there within. So as we enter this ancient symbol of wholeness, right, which is gifted to us by our ancestors, we then can turn very, very deeply inward towards the wisdom of these ancient people all around the world who call on the medicine wheel, who have learned the medicine wheel, who also call on the wheels of life, of humanity, and are deep enough and open enough and connected enough with their own spirit to see the patterns in their own lives and to guide their own inner transformations, okay? I personally have done this in my life, and it changed everything for me. But when we can meet in the circle, right, side by side as humans, as humanity, facing the center. We are turned powerfully towards each other. We all face each other. We all look at each other. And truly, when we're in the center of this, facing each other, the simple act of being in the circle invites us to see, to sense, to honor, and to appreciate each other's different perspectives on this and on life, okay? That's the thing, is as we're becoming aware of and we're exploring each of these directions in the circle, it adds rich meaning to your lives and to the cycles of your days and your months and your seasons and you know, your years or even your lifetime, seeing it as a whole, okay? But with each complete turn that you make in the medicine wheel and on a shamanic journey, you journey through a beginning, a passionate growth, a harvest of lessons, and then an end. And each of these cycles ends in stillness, ends in peace and transformation. There's no right or wrong. That's what's beautiful about it. Each is your own journey. But this simple act of beginning in a circle, okay, truly invites us, like I said, to see and sense and honor and appreciate each other's differences. It's okay that we have differences. It's okay that every single one of us is unique and seeing things from a different set of eyes. Nobody can see things from my eyes. Only I can. Only you can see things from your eyes, okay? So the 4 sacred elements then that were given to us by our ancestors connect us with all life across all time and space, which is what's so awesome about it. The air of our breath, you guys, the fire in the heat of our blood, the water that comprises so much of our bodies. Our bodies are filled with these things. The minerals that our bones are made out of are literally, like our physical bodies, are made of the exact same air, fire, water, and earth that is outside of us, that is part of our planet. It's shared between us and the earth and the universe. It's all one and the same, you guys. And when we know this, when we go deep enough to live our lives in this with this deep respect of nature and of all of earth and all of the universe and all of humanity, we are continually then in a cycle of giving back, right? Using and giving back these elements, right? By all living things, right? All living things are giving and receiving these elements. This has been going on since the beginning of time. It's just that we've forgotten somewhere along the way that we are this. We are nature. We're a part of the whole. We are the stardust, you guys. The light of the stars, the moon and the sun. It all reflects on us, but it reflects within us too. And our breath, like the breath that you breathe, is the breath of the spirit of life breathing through you. So when you take a breath in, you are literally breathing in life force energy. You are breathing in the energy and the spirit of your creator. So when you breathe that in and you're given that gift of life, then when you speak out, you are giving that back to the universe, okay? So that air, it comes in, and then you choose how you want to share it, and then you give it back in cycles, okay? Just as one example. So when you practice, the 4 directions, when you start to learn this as a whole, this practice is a way to renew and to deepen your mind and body and spirit connection with all of the natural cycles, within the earth and the universe. And it helps you to understand deeper the meaning of nature and the meanings of the different cycles we all go through in our lives. But the actual symbols, okay, of the 4 directions are they do vary widely throughout the cultures, okay? But basically, if you can just stop judging what you're seeing and just tune into your own spirit. What is your spirit telling you about the 4 directions? What's true for you? Okay? Using the circle in the 4 directions will absolutely direct you in your soul's journey through time, and it will connect you to the ground of your own being more than you've ever been connected before. This is also a way of remembering who we really are, and it's time that we all remember who we really are. Waking up, this great awakening on the planet, realizing we're more than just a physical body. We're way more than we were ever taught we were. But also finding a way as a human being, okay? As a human being. As we're here, we're human. So the medicine wheel in the 4 directions helps us find a way to walk in harmony in all relationships. And it can also be a doorway to travel into mystical realms and find your way home to your own spirit if you so choose. It doesn't have to be. If that's not something that resonates for you, it doesn't have to be. It can be a very simple way of gauging where you are at in your journey. So some of us, okay, so as a whole, instead of, okay, so we just went through it as a daily, sun rising, going down. But let's talk about it a little bit deeper, okay? Let's talk about where everybody is in the medicine wheel in your current life right now. Where do you stand within the medicine wheel? So I'm going to give you some tools right now so that you can figure out where you stand, okay? So some people in their life's journey stand in the east, okay? The east is the beginner's mind, okay? Some people stand in the south, passionately, playfully, willing to take risks and grow, okay? Holding the fullness of your body, okay? And then some people stand in the west in their journey, going within themselves to dream, to harvest, to connect with their intuition, to integrate what they're learning. And then some people stand in the north, where our ancestors await us with blessings. Silently turning into our inner wisdom, reaching deep to do this deep inner bone work of transformation. That's in the north. The north is really standing in transformation, letting go, opening up to change, entering into new possibilities, okay? So the medicine wheel holds the full journey of being alive. So in the center of this sacred circle, okay, we call in the beginner, the grower, the dreamer, and the wise one within us, within each of us, okay? So when you're in the center is when you call all of your directions home within you, right? So for great mystery, flowing through the center of all invites each one of us to become aware that we are all teachers. We are all learners, okay? All at the same time until we leave this form, right? So journeying through the medicine wheel with awareness, we can see the whole and arrive at the center of our own beings time and time and time again. When we do this, we welcome home our true selves. Okay, so that's kind of where we end. When we're in the center, when we're completely connected with our own spirit, we've gone through the wheel and we've experienced each of the directions. And then we come back home to the center. That's when you are enlightened and enriched and ready for the next level. So then you enter into the medicine wheel again. And some people can spend their entire life just doing one journey, energetically through the medicine wheels of life. And then other people will go through the wheel, come back to the center, decide they want to level up, go through the wheel again, come back to the center, level up again. It all depends. Everybody's journeys are different. But if you are in the East, if you're standing in the East, like in your life right now, where you are at, if you are in the East direction energetically, you are in new beginnings in your life, and there's a lot of beautiful new things happening, a lot of new doors opening for you, okay? If you are in the South, you are on fire and feeling very, 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 very strong in your convictions and what you're learning and growing through, okay? So you're kind of really taking on new things, but at the next level. And then when you go to the West, you're flowing, and everything that you created in the East and the South is in this flow. It's in this period of ease and flow. And then we move to the North. If you're in the North direction, you're in a period of really, really having hard times. Really finishing up everything you just went through in the circle so that you can come to the center and start over. So taking that knowingness, you can then kind of really connect with, okay, where am I at in my journey, right? There's no right or wrong answers. That's what's so beautiful about the directions and about the medicine wheel, is that there's no right or wrong answers. There's no definitive. It's really what your spirit longs to learn and see and grow through, right? But it's connecting to nature like you've never ever connected to nature before, and knowing that you are part of nature. As nature, right now, fall, the trees are losing their leaves, and everything that's brown and lifeless falls away. And humans should really, 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 we should be following suit with these seasons, with these directions in life, connecting very deeply with the center of our beings. So while everything's falling away now, right, and you can really, any one of you can sit down with your piece of paper and you can go, okay, what is not green and alive in my life anymore? What's brown and crusty like the leaves? What's dead and falling away? And then you can write it down so you know. Stop resisting. When the universe is trying to remove things from your life, let it remove it. It no longer will bring peace and harmony and balance, and that's what we're working towards, is peace and harmony and balance in that center, right? So then the winter comes and Mercury retrograde comes, and then we're quiet and everything's dead, like the snow covers everything. So that's when nature hibernates, right? So when nature hibernates and everything's dead, quote unquote, then it's time for you to deaden the things that are dead within you. Give them away. Stop carrying those on your journey. You have the sack on your back that you carry of experiences and thoughts and things and pieces of you that you think you have to carry with you because you think it defines who you are. In the winters, when we really should really go deep inside and lighten that load, because it doesn't define who you are. Your experiences and the things that have happened to you and your traumas and your dramas, and it doesn't define who you are. It's not who you are. You are light. You are love. You are spirit. You are meant to flow with the seasons and with the directions. And I urge you to do that. I urge you to look into this. If you want more information on that, on the medicine wheel or on the directions or shamanism, you guys know how to get a hold of me. I do teach classes too, and I mean, each one of you that comes in and has these shaman healings with me, you guys are having these absolute transformations in your lives, and that's why we do it. That's why we're called here. That's why you guys are here, to transform. We came here to transform humanity, and that's what we're doing. Each one of us plays our part in it. Just absolutely connecting with nature like we have never, ever, ever, ever done it before. We're all being called to do this on a very deep level. In the next few years, nature is going to speak very, very, very loudly to us, even more than it has been. The sooner we can all get back to these ancient ways of connecting with nature and working with nature and flowing with nature within and without ourselves, the sooner we can bring harmony and balance back to the planet, and each one of us plays a role in that. I absolutely love every single one of you, and I want the best for you, and I want you to learn how to flow in these directions, in these seasons of your lives, and to stop resisting and just really listen to what the universe is trying to tell you. Follow your guidance. If you keep seeing a certain animal over and over, what is that animal trying to tell you? If you keep seeing numbers over and over, what are they trying to tell you? What is the universe trying to tell you? Tap into it. Let it guide you. Let it lead you on your journey. I bet you it will transform you if you connect with it. So today, I urge you, get out there, connect with nature, sit down on the ground and meditate, close your eyes. Even if you don't know how to meditate, close your eyes and just feel your connection with nature. Allow yourself to fill up. Sit by a tree. What does a tree have to teach you? I bet you it has a lot to teach you about being rooted and grounded in the earth. So that's your homework for today. Go out there and figure out what needs to fall away from your lives, because you deserve to live the highest and best life. You deserve to have people in your life that honor you and respect you and love you and want the best for you as you do for them. So every one of you has lessons and relationships in your lives that are not meant to be anymore. And I urge you to let them go. This is the time of year. This is the direction we're in. This is the season of falling away. Okay? And then when those fall away, then we go into winter, where we sit in the stillness. We sit in the stillness. And we figure out what our next steps are going to be. I love you guys. I send you all of my best. I have to get out of here a little bit early today because we have a special guest in the studio today. So, really quickly, this Saturday, Wholeistic Healing is sponsoring a wellness event in Lodi at the Waddle Inn. If you go to my Facebook page, Wholeistic Healing LLC Wellness Center, there's information about the event. It's a free event. We're going to have vendors, healers, readers. We're also going to have workshops all day. We're going to have essential oil workshops. We'll have a CBD workshop. I'm doing a workshop on my new book, The Calling of My Soul. We're going to have aura photography and henna and all kinds of really fun stuff. Come on out and see us in Lodi at the Waddle Inn. You can also find information on my Becky Joel the Healer page on this page. So come on out and see us and buy some products, get some services done, get a reading, get a healing. I love you guys. I send you into your day and into your week with all of the love in my heart and my soul. Many, many, many blessings. And until next time.